when someone else is going through a crisis. When someone is going through a crisis. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brianne. I got to thinking about when other people go through a crisis. I've talked a lot about if and when we go through a crisis and how to deal with it. But what about other people? Do we just dive in and help them, or do we stand back and ignore it and act like nothing happened, or something in between, or what's the protocol? Well, first of all, I think every situation is different, and we have to look at a lot of factors and put those factors together. How close are we with this person? How well do we know this person? Does this person want our involvement, or do they want us to step aside? What kind of words are we going to say to them? A lot of times people avoid people in crisis because they don't know what to say. And that's understandable. And yet, for me personally, if I see someone going through a crisis, I tend to let them know that I'm here for them, and I ask them what they want me to do. And I may or may not be able to fulfill that request, but I ask them first, what is it that I can do to help you? And, if I'm not qualified, then I tell them I'm not qualified, and maybe I'll try to help them find someone who is qualified to help them. And crisis is a very difficult and challenging time. Sometimes people don't need advice at the time. What they need is comfort. Other times they need advice. Sometimes they need a combination of both. Sometimes people can get advice from one person and comfort from another. Sometimes they can get it in the same person. But either way, we have to be very selective in the words that we use, because just because our words are truthful, it doesn't necessarily mean that they always need to be said. Sometimes truthful words can hurt someone at that time. It's maybe not something that they need to hear. For example, let's say that someone's spouse was cheating on them and they just found it out. And a truthful word could have been, I knew it was going to happen. I just knew it was going to happen. Well, maybe you did know it was going to happen, but often that is very, very hurtful and painful for the other person to hear. That's not comforting them. That's actually rubbing salt onto the wound, so to speak. So we have to remember that truthful words are not always the right words spoken. Let me just close my door here. I'm actually editing my videos over here on Grandma's porch. And I moved my computer that I edit my videos with out on Grandma's porch. And so I'm editing them before I put them up. And so when they're finished, they pop up and they start playing. So that's what happens. But I put the computer out there because I do my 10 p.m. live streams. So most nights, not every night, but most nights, or a lot of nights. Okay, so anyhow, but when someone's going through a crisis, I try to be there for comfort, first of all. And then I try to assess the situation and see if it's right for me to step in at any other level. Sometimes just taking a dish of food over to somebody it's a gesture. Maybe they don't even need the food really, but it's a gesture. But I tend to always ask the other person, what is it that you would like me to do? Or what is it that I can do? And often I don't give advice because, advice may not be the right thing that they need from me. It may be something that they need from someone else. And crisis with other people can be a very sensitive and a very touchy and a very difficult time. So we have to keep that in mind too. Crisis brings out emotions. And so sometimes we have to be very cognizant that other people's emotions may be very fragile at that time. So for me, I try to be of comfort. I try to be of support. I try to decide at what level is appropriate and right for me to step in, if at all. And if so, how do I do it? From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.